Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and or welcome if you're brand new to the channel. I appreciate you being here. I'm curious to get into this video. This is 10 Japanese brands you've pronounced wrong. I did a video on this on 15 German brands that you pronounced incorrectly. A few months back, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I was actually kind of shocked with how wrong I was with some of these brands. And I do own a few, items from bigger name Japanese brands. So I'm very curious to see, how they are correctly pronounced. Hopefully, whenever she displays them up on screen, she doesn't instantly say how you properly do it, so I can say how I would pronounce it. But I'm also very curious to see the proper pronunciation to it. So without further ado, everybody, let's just get into it. 10 Japanese brands you pronounce wrong.
Asagi, have you had cars from Toyota? What?
Oh no.
Toyota?
Oh no. I have a incorrectly pronounced Toyota. I have one out back. That's my vehicle. And she's already leading off with this, so I know that I've said it wrong my whole life.
Toyota cars? You're supposed to know that. You're Japanese. I see. That's... What's up, everybody? It's Asagi. Welcome back to my channel where you can find Japan with no bullshit. So, there are a lot of Japanese brands going overseas.
I like this girl already. Alright, yep, so... Okay, I will just say, I would say Hitachi is how I would pronounce it. And then I would say Nissan, Honda, Toyota, and then this just looks like SoftBank, NTT, and then Japan Post Group. So I'm very curious. These four right here, these are the ones I'm very familiar with. I'm very curious how much of those I've pronounced incorrectly.
And operating their businesses in your country.
I
see
I don't
so
know how to
many
say that.
English
Maybe Nikon?
speakers pronouncing those brand names very differently that almost makes it harder for us to recognize them, and I find it very interesting. In this video, I'm going to share 10 Japanese brands you pronounce it wrong, which I mean brand names that non-Japanese people pronounce differently. So keep on watching and let's get started. Number 1. Kobe beef. Kobe beef has been always famous among foreigners as one of the greatest basket players in history. Kobe Bryant was named after this brand because his father was a big fan of it. However, people here had no idea it was...
I've seen a lot of videos. I've always thought it was Kobe. Even people in Japan, like, walking up to the stalls, hey, I'd like to try this. They've always said it like that. So obviously, I'm sure the citizens there are very familiar with wrongly pronounced words, but I'm very curious how it actually pronounced.
Was inspired by Japanese word because we pronounce it Kobe, not Kobe. So when we refer to the beef brand, Kobe beef is correct. Kobe beef is established in the city called Kobe, as the city was used to be the major trading port after Japan opened its border in Meiji period. At that time, Japanese beef shipped from Kobe by foreign merchants were all named Kobe beef, and that was when Kobe beef became popular in other countries. Although Kobe beef is the most popular brand in other countries, there are so many other great beef brands in Japan, such as Matsuzaka beef or Omi beef, that you should definitely try. Number 2. Nissin. Nissin is one of the most famous Japanese...
See, I like how she's doing this because, for one, she's pronouncing it like I would say it, Nissin. But I'm very curious what it actually is.
Japanese food makers, especially for their instant ramen, because they are the one who invented instant ramen. Japanese natives pronounce it Nissin. I noticed some of the non-Japanese speakers call them Nissin. It sounds a little bit different to me, but it's actually not so wrong. Their name comes from the founder's saying, 日々清らかに豊かな味を作る. And putting two words out of the message, they created their name Nissin. However, they created their logo as Nissin when they expanded their business in overseas, so that foreign customers can recognize their name easily. So in the end, pronouncing it Nissin, it's not wrong. But if you want to do it in Japanese way, Nissin is correct.
Okay.
Number 3. Calvaco.
I've never heard of this company.
I think you've already know that Calpico is called Calpis in Japan. Because it sounds like Calpis, they use the name Calpico when they sell it in the US, Canada, and Indonesia.
That would make sense.
So I don't think many Japanese people recognize when you say it, Calpico. For your information, the name Calpis comes from two words. Cal is taken from calcium and pis is taken from the Sanskrit word salpis, which is one of the 5 tastes described in Buddhism. Number 4, Toyota.
Okay.
This brand is probably the best known Japanese brand in the world.
That
and
or
of
some,
course,
yeah.
every Japanese person knows this brand. However, I got so confused when my host mother in California said, I love Toyota cars because it sounded so different to me. Japanese people pronounce it Toyota. Toyota is established in a town in Aichi Prefecture by Kiichiro Toyoda. So yes, the family name sounds more like English pronunciation, and when they established their company, their name was actually Toyoda. However, they changed their company name to Toyota because they thought it sounds more clean, and they also wanted to eliminate the kind of close-minded image that some of the family-owned companies have. So they changed their name to Toyota for a reason. If you love this brand, maybe you want to remember the correct pronunciation, Toyota.
It's not too far off, I guess. I mean, and she did acknowledge that, but okay, I like it. And I love the brand. It's a fantastic vehicle.
Number 5, Uniqlo.
I've never heard of this brand
This
either.
brand is famous for their less expensive clothes with a great quality and simple design. I mean, I can still recognize it when you say Uniqlo, but it still sounds a little bit odd to me. Uniqlo, that's our pronunciation. Their name, Uniqlo, is an abbreviation for the Unique Clothing Warehouse. So, in fact,
I like
it's
that.
English. So, how
like
you
that.
pronounce it is probably right, but I'm just sharing the difference, okay? Number 6, Asics.
Okay, now that one I pronounce differently than what I guess the stereotypical English pronunciation. I've always said Oasics, but I'm sure that's wrong as well.
Among all the sports brands in the world, Asics has the 7th biggest share, so I think you probably know them. But Japanese people probably don't recognize it when you say Asics because we pronounce it Asics. The name Asics
That's way different.
comes from the Latin words anima sana in corpore sano, from which A6 is derived. So I don't think there is a certain pronunciation that is correct. So if your Japanese friend is making a confused face like this, try pronounce it A6. That clears up the confusion. Number 7, Nikon. Japan is famous for its high quality cameras, and one of the top brands is this. I believe many people pronounce it correctly, but I sometimes hear people say Nikon. But this is not correct. Yes, we pronounce it Nikon.
I do pronounce it correctly.
Is originally
Nikon.
named
Okay.
Nippon Kogaku. That means Japan Optic. Then eventually they shortened their name to Nikon. Nippon Kogaku. Nikon. In English, NI is pronounced as 9, but this name comes from Nippon, so this should be pronounced as Ni. So, Nikon.
I like it. I actually got one right.
Casio. The company Casio Computer has a wide variety of electric products such as instruments and watches. They named the company after the founder's family name, Casio. So in Japan, we call them Casio. However, they set their logo as Casio because they were planning to expand their business in overseas from the beginning. But seriously, Casio? It sounds so foreign.
It didn't
Number
sound
9,
right.
Yakult. For some reason, it sounds like German when you say it. Yakult. Japan. In Japan, we say it Yakulto. The name Yakulto comes from Yakult, the Esperanto language
Never heard of this
that
brand
means
either.
yogurt. What the heck is Esperanto? Esperanto is an international language which does not belong to any particular nation. With up to 2 million speakers, it is the most widely spoken constructed language in the world. Huh, I'm learning so much by making this video. Number 10.
Pokemon.
Pokemon is, of course, ichiban famous anime in the world. However, non-Japanese people pronounce it something like Pokemon or Pokemon. No. It's Pokemon.
See, I've always heard
Is a
Pokemon.
shortened word for Pocket Monster.
Makes
To be
sense.
honest,
I've always heard Pokemon, but I've never been a fan personally of it. Don't kill me. But it's never been my personal thing, but I've always heard it pronounced the correct way.
Pokemon is
I've
so
heard
popular,
Pokemon, don't get me
so
wrong, but-
many Japanese people still would understand that even when you say it with English pronunciation. But maybe Japanese kids still laugh at you. So that
They probably
was
laugh
the
at me 'cause I
list
don't like
of
it too
10
much.
Japanese brands you probably pronounce wrong, and I hope you find it interesting and helpful. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel and check out my Instagram because I update more information about Japan. So thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
That was a good video. I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm probably not going to remember everything right off the bat. It's going to take me a little bit of time to learn it all. But I enjoyed it, and I realized that I did say at least one thing correctly, and I wasn't too far off with some of the other ones. So, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that video. Hopefully you guys did as well. If you did, consider leaving a like on the video and going and subscribing to her channel because she clearly does good work. You know what I mean? So, yeah, thank you all so much for being here, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.